Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a micro brand. This brand is called Vertigo and it comes courtesy of my friend Steve over at a Watch Obsession. I'll leave a link to his Instagram channel below and in the description. He has many interesting watches on there which you might like to look at if you're into Instagram. Now this, as I say, it's from an Italian brand called Vertigo. And it's their Diver 1 V2 Blue. It is available in different colours. I think there's obviously a black and a few others. But this one, it's quite interesting in blue, a little bit different. The dimensions of this watch, it's a 42mm by 13.5mm and a lug-to-lug of 49. And as you can see, it makes no qualms about being a Rolex Submariner, or should I say Sea Dweller, sort of like homage. If we zoom in, let's have a look at that dial first. Now the dial itself is blue, obviously, as the title goes, and it's all simply a printed dial, which is a little bit of a shame. It would have been nice to see some applied markers, but this watch comes in a moment on their website at €235. Occasionally you can find deals like you can on many watches at this price point. Now, the one thing I would say, their logo is quite cool. I find that quite interesting. Also, having a logo like that rather than a name makes it incredibly easy to place it on a dial without looking too fussy. If you imagine if there was a big name going across there, it might look a bit messy. Down below, we do have the Vertigo Diver 1, the 300 meter automatic also. We have a date window at 3 o'clock, which is framed, which is, a little bit more presence to the dial. The actual dial and hands are all loomed. It's got C1 lumen over, I believe. And as you can see, it doesn't look too bad. The handset are a little bit more interesting because we have this kind of white hand here. We have a blue tip to the end of the second hand, and that blue also corresponds then to the blue and the orange of the minute hand. Now, the hands are the only sort of like points where it sort of like brings it away from the Rolex homage, but I would like to have seen a fatter minute hand on there. I think it would have looked a little bit better. So just personal choice, but I think it just needs something more to make it stand out. The actual crystal is a sapphire. It is a flat sapphire. I think there's AR coating on there. It's hard to tell, but every so often I think I can see a blue haze. So I think there is AR coating on the underside of the dial, which is actually in some ways better than having it on top, because if you were to knock the sapphire crystal, quite often you won't mark the sapphire, but there is a chance you can mark the AR coating, and I have got that on one of my watches where it has been marked as in EZM1. So a bit of a pain, but there you go. The bezel, it looks to be an aluminium insert, very Rolexy, even down to the design of the bezel. It really does look like something out of a Rolex catalogue, but it's not got the same grip as the Rolex ones. It's a little bit too rounded off. If I turn it, you get to hear the action. Obviously, sorry, we have a lume pip at 12. The action sounds quite good, actually. It's not a bad sounding bezel. 120 click, little bit of back play, but it does have a nice sound to it. I say at this price point, it's I don't mind that, and it does line up perfectly, so that's pretty good. As you look round on the case finishing, let's zoom out now. On the case finishing here, we have a polished sides all the way around, including the crown guards. But I must say, it's not the best polishing, but again, we are talking at this price point. We do have brushing on top. The crown itself, you can see, actually does have a logo on there, and it is a screw-in crown. And to be fair, it is actually a very nice action on the unscrewing it and both screwing it back in. The case back is a solid case back, which I am surprised at. I thought it might be a display case. The actual movement in this is a Seiko NH35. So it's, you know, you go to movement in a watch of this price, really. So you're talking 6 beats per second, about 38 hours power reserve. It does have hacking, so pull it out. You actually, what I mean by hacking, if you don't know, it's when you can stop the second hand for precise time setting. Quick set date, so it's not, you know, it's a good move. It's a bomb-proof movement. And I say the case back, you do have their logo on there, lots of writing around the side. The only thing I would say, it's a little bit sharp. It's just one of those annoying things. I've got hairy wrist, and you can, sometimes it catches it. Also here, these are a little bit sharp just here, so it could do with something there. The actual bracelet, well, West of the end link test, there's hardly any movement there. That's good. So that's pretty solid. Solid end links, as you can see. A fully brushed bracelet, including sides. It's split pin affair, so that's pretty easy to change out. The clasp is a folded clasp, nothing special here at all. It has got 4 levels of micro adjust, but the center is milled, so that's a little bit better. The action, that's quite good. And you do have a signed fold over safety lock there. Now, if I put this on my wrist so you get an idea what it looks like. In fact, the watch I'm wearing at the moment has got the NH35 movement, so that's actually what the movement looks like in the back of that watch. This is the new Seiko 5E79, but it has been modified by myself. So I'll put this on my wrist so you got an idea. My wrist size is a fraction over 7 inches. And there you go. So if you're really after a Rolex look on a cheaper watch, then this is, you know, this isn't a bad watch. Maybe the black one would be a little bit more Rolex. But the only problem with this watch is, at this price point, it has a lot of competitors. There are a lot of watches out there at around about the same price, like this watch, albeit without that, you know, the bezel and the crystal. Yeah, they're different. But it's got a lot of competition. And really, this brand needs to stand out more. I feel this watch is, it's an okay watch. It's a nice solid thin watch. It's about 180 grams sized up for me, maybe 170 something. And so it's a heavy watch, and it's got your 300 meters water resistance. The only problem I do find, it's lacking something. It needs a bit of sparkle to bring it up. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with this watch. The accuracy is actually quite good. It's about 6 seconds, so it's actually relatively accurate. It just lacks a bit of pizzazz, really. So, I don't know. If any of my viewers out there have got Vertigo watches and you want to tell me a bit more about them, go for it. I'll be quite interested, as it's the first one I've ever handled. So, okay, all the best, and I will see you at the next watch video. All the best. Bye.